Tantor Audio, a division of recorded books, presents The Gate to China, A New History of the People's Republic and Hong Kong, by Michael Sheridan, narrated by Nigel Patterson. Dramatis Personae. Chinese Leaders. Mao Zedong, 1893 to 1976. Poet, revolutionary and political philosopher, a key founder of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Mao said that Hong Kong was an issue for the next generation to solve, bequeathing the task of its restoration to Deng Xiaoping. Deng Xiaoping, 1904 to 1997. Marxist and statesman, China's paramount leader from 1977 until shortly before his death. Deng opened the economy to the world and struck a deal over Hong Kong, but opposed political reform and crushed the democracy movement in 1989. Jiang Zemin, born 1926. The former Communist Party boss in Shanghai, Jiang took over as leader of the party, the state and the army after the crisis of 1989, holding power into the early 2000s. He oversaw the handover of Hong Kong and led China into the WTO. Hu Jintao, born 1942, China's leader from 2002 to 2013, served as Communist Party chief in Tibet, presided over the 2008 Olympic Games, and steered the country through a global financial crisis. Hu revived the role of the state and ruled as a low-key collective leader. Xi Jinping, born 1953, supreme leader of China from 2013, restoring the party's dictatorship. A princeling, son of veteran Xi Chongshun, served as governor of Fujian province, later vice president with responsibility for Hong Kong and Macau affairs. Key figures in the history of China and Hong Kong. Li Qiang, 1905 to 1990. A spy, bomb maker, and lifelong militant, Li was China's foreign trade minister as the country began to open up. His visit to Hong Kong in 1978 paved the way for talks between China and Britain on the future of the colony. Liao Chengzhi, 1908 to 1983. Born in Tokyo, a wily and sophisticated revolutionary who was trusted by Mao and Deng to forge policy on Japan, Taiwan, and Hong Kong. He is said to have invented the concept of one country, two systems. Xi Chongshun, 1913 to 2002. Joined the Communist Party in 1928, guerrilla leader in the first generation of revolutionaries. Purged by Mao Zedong, he returned to head the party in Guangdong province, pioneered reforms and special economic zones. Father of Xi Jinping. Zhao Ziyang, 1919 to 2005. Marxist-Leninist turned liberal reformer, served as Communist Party chief in Inner Mongolia and Sichuan, later premier. Became party leader 1987, purged 1989, died under house arrest in Beijing. His memoirs were smuggled to the West. Zhou Nan, born 1927. Ultra-patriot and ardent Marxist, China's main negotiator with Britain and Portugal over Hong Kong and Macau, later head of Xinhua in Hong Kong. An expert in English literature. Also served as ambassador to the United Nations, 1980 to 1981. Chu Rongji, born 1928. As mayor of Shanghai, Chu oversaw a peaceful end to 1989 protests. Later governor of the central bank and prime minister, he reformed financial sector, fought corruption, encouraged foreign investors, ran China's negotiations to join the WTO. Personalities in Hong Kong. Anson Chan, born 1940. The first woman and the first Chinese civil servant to lead the Hong Kong administration under British rule. At one time the city's most respected public figure, Chan spoke up for democracy and was later denounced by China as a colonial lackey. Carrie Lamb, born 1957. A Roman Catholic, Lamb won promotion as an efficient administrator under the British and rose to become the fourth chief executive of Hong Kong. Her policies set off mass protests, and in 2020 she embraced China's national security law. Martin Lee, born 1938. Jesuit-educated barrister, revered as the founder of Hong Kong's Democratic Party and for his fearless rhetoric. He lost out to a younger, more radical generation of activists before his arrest in 2020 under the national security law. C.Y. Leung, born 1954. Third Chief Executive of Hong Kong, 2012 to 2017, Leung was unfailingly loyal to Beijing and was alleged to be an underground member of the Communist Party. His tenure was marked by protests, middle-class discontent, and dour inertia. Donald Tsang, born 1944. The son of a policeman, Tsang rose by merit to become financial secretary and later the second chief executive of Hong Kong, 2005 to 2012. A devout Catholic, he was later jailed for misconduct in public office. The charges were quashed on appeal. Dong Chi-hwa, born 1937. Shanghai-born shipping tycoon, picked by China as the first chief executive of the HKSAR, the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, 1997 to 2005. Driven from office after mass protests and economic upheaval, his family firm was later sold to a Chinese state entity for $6.3 billion. Joshua Wong, born 1996. The teenage face of Hong Kong's youth rebellion, an evangelical Christian whose gifted oratory and digital skills inspired opponents of authoritarian rule. Jailed for his activities, he later faced serious charges under the national security law. The British. Percy Craddock, 1923 to 2010. British ambassador to China, later foreign policy advisor to Margaret Thatcher, and head of the Joint Intelligence Committee. Craddock masterminded the deal to hand Hong Kong back to China and warned against radical democratic reforms. Christopher Patten, Lord Patten of Barnes, born 1944. British Conservative politician, 28th and last Governor of Hong Kong. Patten defied the wrath of China to introduce wider democracy. His reforms did not survive. Later European Trade Commissioner and Chancellor of Oxford University. Margaret Thatcher, 1925 to 2013. Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, 1979 to 1990, duelled with Deng over the fate of Hong Kong, but conceded to his demands after winning guarantees that the territory's freedoms would endure for 50 years after the handover in 1997. David Wilson, Lord Wilson of Tilliorn, born 1935. Sinologist and diplomat, Wilson met Deng in 1979, negotiated the text of the Joint Declaration, and was 27th Governor of Hong Kong, 1987 to 1992. He carried out major reforms in politics, education, and infrastructure. Edward Yoder, 1924 to 1986. Served as a young diplomat in China, fluent in Mandarin, ambassador to the People's Republic of China, 1974 to 1978. Appointed 26th Governor of Hong Kong, 1982. Admired by many Chinese for his scholarship. Died on a visit to Beijing. A note on names. This is a book for the general listener. Therefore, Chinese names of people and places are given in the most widely recognized form. The pinyin system of transliteration has been used in most cases, with a few historical exceptions, such as Chiang Kai-shek. In Hong Kong, individuals may take a Western name in addition to their Chinese one, for example Martin Lee Chu-ming. Some adopt initials as a preferred form of address, for example C.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?